Okay, she says I have no sound. So yeah, I'm flying solo tonight. Let's go over that whole spiel again. Um, Silver and gold's kind of crazy lately. It's not performing as well as it should. My recommendation on that is to just slow and steady. It always wins the race. You don't have to worry, if you end up going all hog wild and put everything in it and it keeps going down and you have to sell, you could be in trouble. So just keep adding the same amount because we never know where it's going to stop, whether it's this week, next month, or year. So hopefully everything is going to work out there. Mike is over at the ANA show. It's being co-sponsored with the ONA, the Oklahoma Numismatics Association. They are in Oklahoma City. So I am stuck by myself. And for those of you that came in early without hearing anything, I forgot I had it like that. So yeah, there's that. So please begin your questions with 3 question marks so they can be easily seen. And we do appreciate everybody being here. Please remember, hit the like button if you want. If you like it, might not be that much to like because I'm going to be, I guess you could say, driving the show off of whatever you guys happen to say in the comments. Because I kind of said pretty much what I want to say about the silver and gold, but I'm going to say more later. But that's pretty well what the topic's about. What can we do with these falling prices, pretty much? Okay, so let's say hi to people. We got John Jacobs in here. Coin Crew. Dan Ing is in here. Dale M is in here. Inkman, Drickett, B, Steinman. Everybody's saying no sound, no sound. Keith Choking Ghost is here. How you doing, my friend? Caterpillar Silver is capitalized at no sound. Tim Courtier, Tim C. What's up? I just can't pronounce your last name. I'm sorry, my friend. Let's see where we at. Yeah, there you go. I am practicing for a silent auction, or at least I was. I didn't even realize I didn't have no sound. Mr. Coin Crew yelling through the door, "You ain't got no sound." So yeah, we might have to cut that part off all of a sudden or something. I don't know. I don't even know if we can. Let's see. Eric A is here. Douglas Mendalis is here. I don't know if I said Choking Ghost, Rickett, Mysterian, Shelby, and look at that J Dog. Look at that. Hey, Coin Crew, aka Just a Guy. Thanks for coming in, J Dog. Thank you for the super chat, guys. Your super chats are greatly appreciated. However, they're not required, but they do help us to, do shows, help us make a living, and we really appreciate it. Thumbs up really help the YouTube algorithm be. So yeah, you want to do that if you can, if you like it. If you don't, I get it. So, anybody got any question? Here's a question. So for extra cash, better to sell gold or silver in your opinion? My opinion right now, I think you might lose a little more on silver if it continues to go down, but gold tends to be more stable. Now gold is down to 33.15, so it's still at pretty close to an all-time high. Silver is nowhere near the all-time high. So my recommendation is probably if you need a little extra cash, if you got some smaller pieces of gold, even though it's more stable and it's less likely to go down more, I would hate to see someone sell all their silver or a good portion of their silver because you don't get as much for silver as you do for gold. So it takes a lot more of it to get any kind of money. I would hate to see you sell it and then it do a 180 and starts going back up before you get a chance. The odds of gold doing that, going back up before you get a chance, it's harder because it's more stable. It's not going to go crazy like silver can go up $1 or $2 a week. That doesn't sound like a lot of money, but when you talk percentage wise, silver does move up and down at a greater percentage rate than gold when it starts moving. So that, again, that's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but take it for what it's worth. Hopefully it's worth something. At least 2 grains of salt, right? So what else we got here? We got this Coin Crew just woke up from a nap. Big Rocky's here. Market seems to be waiting for the Fed speech coming Friday. Markets may react. If so, what direction will they go? Well, market validity, sorry about that, a little bit of mispronunciation there. tends to be a lot of sentiment more than on the actual algorithms of it. It could go up, it could go down. You know, I've seen things where stocks and gold and silver, it goes the totally opposite direction in which you think they'll go. A lot of it is going to be how the public, the investors, perceive what goes on Friday. We can say, oh, if they put out good news, gold's going up, or bad news, gold's going up. But then if the public doesn't feel, there could be one word said to or at, the word to or the word at instead of, going or whatever, it could change the whole sentiment of how people feel. So a lot of it is going to be based on sentiment. There are a lot of factors that where people will sit there and use all the charts and the data and buy and sell on that. But remember, you got to try to keep your emotions out of it, because that's exactly what happens when people put their emotions into the buying or selling or any kind of money transfer. It doesn't do exactly what it's supposed to. So it's really hard. It just depends on how the public perceives it. Barbara Wall, I appreciate you asking. I hope it's going to stable out a little bit, but we don't know at this point in time. Brent's Cool Coins. Thoughts on buying quarter-ounce Queen Beast gold coins? Queen's Beast gold coins, they have a lower premium at first, and then they start going up. So if you're looking for something with a little bit of numismatic value, yes. Sometimes people will put a high premium on it to begin with, but don't go for that, because in the very beginning, they're usually cheap or inexpensive compared to, say, gold eagles. So if you're going to buy a current year one, you should get it cheaper than a gold eagle. But over time, they do go up quite a bit. So it depends on if you just want to stack or you want to collect numismatically. So we scroll down. Hi, Ty, what's up? He says, had to dip into my stack and sell some silver last week. Needed to buy a car. Got an '08 Volvo XC70 all-wheel drive. Dude, that's how I bought my Toyota. I sold some silver, I sold some gold. And that's part of what we do. When we sit there and we stack this, we use it for emergencies, whether it be buy a car, pay a medical bill or something like that. And we hope we don't never have to use it, but it's there if we do. Most of us are stacking for the security and also just to pass it down to our children. Because if you're stacking it to try to make money, I recommend you get into something else, because that is the wrong reason to be stacking silver or gold. And again, just my opinion. I'm not a financial advisor, so I, am just giving you what I think. And what I think could be wrong or right. You never know. So next up. Now, guys, put some question marks in front of your comments, because what I do is, being as I am totally by myself tonight, I'm just going to skip everything and go straight to the question marks. So if you have something you want me to highlight, please put some question marks in there. A lot of people in the chat. We got 67 a year so far. I'm sure it's going to peak up close to 100. I hope. I'm praying and I hope. But if it doesn't, it does make it a little simpler for me. So I can catch some of them, but not all of them. Here we go. Marco Polo. You play that in water and stuff. I'm traveling to the ANA show in Oklahoma City. Any advice, etiquette for newbies going into a major show? I guess, Marco Polo, the best advice I could give is be polite. Don't question whether someone is selling something too cheap, it must be fake, or you're too expensive, the guy over there has it cheaper. Just ask the price, be polite, and just say thank you. That will allow people to perceive you in a positive manner. If a dealer is telling you he's giving you his best price, the odds are he probably is, because the A&A show, last time I did one, I paid like $1,000 for a corner table in the nosebleed, in the way back. So yeah, go find Mike. He's going to be set up there. Him and his wife, I would imagine, is with him. Maybe Robert, maybe his kids or something. I don't know, but he's going to be set up there. He always has somebody with him. So yeah, just be polite, and cash is preferred, but a lot of dealers will take credit cards, and some will even take checks. I myself, when I'm at a show, if I got my machine, I'll take a credit card, and then you'll have to pay the card fee. And then But cash, it gets it done quicker. But yeah, just be polite. That's the main thing. If some of the mods in the chat want to answer some of these questions, if I don't get to them in time, it'd be greatly appreciated. Ingrid says, I'm going to play hooky from work Friday and go to the A&A show. Don't tell my boss. Laughing my ass off. Yeah, Mike will be there, Inkman. Good luck. I won't be there. I'll be here. We got Floyd live Friday. I'm going to be a teenager again, believe it or not. That's right. It's also my birthday on Friday. I'm going to be 5 plus 8, and that makes me a teenager. That equals 13. We're going to try to see if we can get it over on somebody. I don't know. Maybe if somebody reads it in the chat when I'm in another show, they might not. They might actually think it. You never know. Okay. Hello, Squiggly Tracy. She says, hello, everyone. Ty says, hurt to sell that silver for the car, but it's what it's there for. That's absolutely correct, Ty. It's what we stack it for. One time I bought my Toyota. Time before that, even I bought a house with gold and silver. So, I mean, I need to sell that thing. I don't know about that, but, it is what it is. But we use it for what we need it for, emergencies. And it does preserve our wealth. It's not designed to make us money, but it can preserve our buy power. So that's a great thing. I can't even pronounce your name, so I'm going to shorten it to CR. What's the market like for old British coins pre-1920? Do you ever sell this stuff off? Is there a demand? There's a demand for the, it looks like the modern Britannia, the $1 ones or £1 ones, the big ones, like I think they're 1913. The bigger ones, there's more of a demand for than the smaller ones. A lot of that's geographical as well. So I imagine it would go better over in the UK than it would here. But you never know. There could be something. There could be. If you go to the World's Fair, they have a whole section at the World's Fair that is nothing but world coins. So if you have a chance to get over to Oklahoma this weekend, you'll see a lot of stuff, a lot of guys. And if you're looking to try to sell some, that may be the place to sell them at. If I had, good foreign coins, world coins to sell, I would save them all for the World's Fair because the competition is fierce. Of course, like anything, you're going to get some guys in there going to lowball you and stuff. So make sure when you go to a show, and the advice I was giving earlier about being polite at the show, here's some more advice. When you go to a show and you're looking to buy something, shop around. Don't accept the first price unless you know the guy and you really want to deal with him and you think it's a great price. Then I guess that would be a little different if you think it's a great price. But if you're not sure if it's a great price, walk the floor. Get some different quotes. A lot of competition at those big shows. Amy says, have a 1876 San Francisco $quarter. And what book did they find it in? Just curious. I have no idea. I am a little bit confused with that question. What book did they find? DI, they fit in. Oh, what book do they fit in? Oh, duh. That's the DID. Okay. What book do the 1876 quarters fit in? They should fit in the same 76, I think, is the same size as modern quarters. So if you have a blank page, they would fit in that. Otherwise, there's a seated quarter book, whether it be the pop book, Whitman or H.E. Harris or Dansko album. They have books designed for that particular year. But I believe the size is the same as the modern Washington quarter on that. Greetings from Blissfield. Happy early birthday. Well, thank you, Inkman. You think of me when you're at the coin show, buddy. I need tissues with lotion or something like that. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. Thanks for the advice. Do you know what table Mike is at? No, not at this time, but you can check when you go in, if you're not an A&A member, you got to pay a door entry fee. Except for on Saturday, I think it's free. You pay an entry fee, but Saturday, most of the dealers are gone. And they hand out a pamphlet that has the tables, and you're going to look for Mid-America coins. Let them know I sent you from Tuesday night. So we can try to say, Mike, you left them hanging. You had to go make money. So we're going to tell you he sent us over there. So yeah, check the floor schedule. Man, my nose is itching. Somebody's talking about me or something. I don't know how that works. Yeah, JJ says British coins do have a smaller niche market. That is correct. However, having said that, those larger, they look like the modern Britannia almost. I believe that's a British coin. I could be mistaken. The front of it, it's a $1 coin. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's British. I think it's a $1 coin. My buddy has a gun shop. He told me, my buddy has a gun shop. He told me he could sell stuff in the store. I tried watches, wallets. I think I'm about trying to sell silver just for a hobby. What do you think? When you sell Misfit Mania, when you buy and sell silver, sometimes it's harder to sell if like the price goes down and nobody wants to buy it because you had to sell it for a little more. So just be cautious when you price it, and you've got to pay their fee for putting it in there, I'm sure. Just try to make sure you code stuff to make sure you know what you paid for it. So that way, whatever you sell it for, minus the fee, and then see if you at least, make a couple percent. It's important to keep track whether you're actually making money or not. I see a lot of people go on like Whatnot and Facebook and Craigslist and all this other stuff, and they're trying to sell with the market like I do and Mike does and a lot of coin dealers do. But what they're not realizing is we've been in the business for so many years, we don't have to make the money right then and there because we've made it over the years. And they'll get to humping and get to humping and get to humping real hard. And before you know it, they've lost $1,000 or $2,000 in a month or two. And they're like, oh, crap, this is not a profitable business. Because it's not. It is a long-term business. Someone opening a coin shop, they asked me last week, I think it was, can you open a coin shop with $80,000? I basically said, no, you can't open a coin shop with $80,000 because you got to have clientele for a long time, usually a year or more. You have to start off maybe in flea markets or something small where the overhead is small. You have to have a lot of coins or a lot of money. If you start off and you got $500,000, open a coin shop with no coins, yeah, the odds are you're going to make it. But you're not going to start making money until after about 2 or 3 years. So 80,000 isn't going to cut it because you have to have the money to sit there and say, how much is my bills? I got to have that money for, if it's a business, for 2 years. I got to be able to survive for that first 2 years and pay myself a salary. So if you're used to living on $50,000 a year, right off the back, you have to have $100,000 a year. So there, or $100,000 for that 2-year period. So there, you're already not able to start it for 80,000. You have to have buy power. You have to have coins. You have to have a hookup with wholesalers and other coin dealers. It's not easy to do. It's a lot of hard work. Most coin dealers, they really don't start making money. I mean, real money until after about 10 plus years. So that's something you want to think about if you ever decide to do it for a business. But for a hobby, I've known people be like a weekend warrior. They'll do it at shows, they'll do it at flea markets, and they do good because they have their job set aside already. And doing it for a hobby is a way you may want to start to see if you want to do it as a business. So I think we covered that a little bit last week, but I want a little bit more detail this time around. And I do appreciate the question. It allowed me to retrieve some information from last week. Shep says, what would happen if the market for the premiums on 1/10 ounce come down? It hurts compared to lower premiums on francs, 5 pesos, etc., etc. 1/10 ounce gold eagles have a big premium because a coin dealer such as myself is willing to pay 5 to 10% over spot just from the walk up. It depends on where wholesale is at, and that premium adjust is between the 5 and 10% here lately. Now that does change. I don't think the Eagles will come down. You can get some of them you can get cheaper. Pesos aren't cheap. Francs are inexpensive and ducats are inexpensive, but the pesos are a little bit expensive, and so are the Eagles. Those are your two most expensive, and of course, premium stuff from the U.S. Mint and that they make, like the stupid crazy Superman they made. What was that? $1,000 over for a half ounce. Crazy. Then they come out with the Sacagawea at $595 less. Go figure that one. Okay, will the laser be privy be a keeper, time or distance? Thanks for the question. Um, laser privy, American Silver Eagle. It could possibly be a keeper. It is a variation of the proof Silver Eagle. However, having said that, they are making around 100,000, a little over, a little under. I don't remember the exact mintage. But that particular coin, because it's a one-off, one-offs tend to hold their value a little bit better than, let's say it was a regular proof eagle coming out at that. It's going to likely come down about 20, 25. But being it's a laser privy, I think it'll hold the value of the U.S. Mint's issue price. Again, all these things I'm saying, guys, they're just my opinion. It doesn't mean go after it. Do your own research and see what's best for you. But how we make a decision on anything is from the opinions and research that we do. So my opinion, along with two other or three other people's opinion, along with a little bit of research, you should come out with a good decision to make. And we scroll down. Just picked up 20 common date wheat pennies to my collection from Rob Vaughn's Treasures. There you go, my friend. I don't deal with a lot of wheat pennies unless they're a little bit better date. The common dates are hard to move. Got a bucket full. Oh, man. That's it. That's the final straw. I'm blocking that word in the chat after tonight. I'm going to type it in there and block. I should do it right now. No, I'm on myself. I'm on by myself. I'm going to type it in when the chat's over. Yawn is no longer going to be permitted to be typed. Y'all know that's contagious. How many people, put a one in the chat if you yawned shortly after I just yawned? I mean, it's one of the most contagious things there is. It's worse than the flu. I think Mike was getting cabin fever. Yeah, he's definitely got, I bet you his wife did go with him. He's definitely got some help with him because he's got that foot operation he had about a month ago for the heel. So, yeah, hopefully he's not in too much pain. Edward Lee, thank you for the comment. Do you think the 2025 silver proof mint sets will appreciate in value? 150. Lord have mercy. I don't think so. Most proof sets, very rarely, unless silver starts going crazy, go up to the value of the silver. Or the silver very rarely goes up to the value of the proof set. I said that backwards. So for a $150 set for, what is it? A little over an ounce of silver, an ounce in, what is it, $1.25 and then 60 cents. Yeah, it's not going. I don't see 2 ounces. I don't see $75 an ounce for silver anytime soon. So it's going to take a while. But there are those freak instances, the occasion where a proof set will become more popular and go for more money, like, say, the 1999 silver proof set. That went as high as $650. And guess what now? It's under $100. The 2012 silver proof set went over $300. Now it's down a third to around the $200 tag. So, having said that, there are a few years, if you can take and stomach the ones that aren't any good, it wouldn't be a bad investment for the long term to buy the silver. I'd very rarely recommend a clad, but I don't think on most of them you'll be able to get your money back. Mudswat says, can you open a coin store with a coin collection? Short answer is no. Short answer is no and yes. Mudswat. The reason why I say no and yes, you can open it with a coin collection if you have enough money to back you up. But the coin collection by itself, no. Unless you are like, I don't know, Buddy Epson or something. Like, he had this massive coin collection. And be on the lookout for that, guys. There are pedigreed coins out there, and one of them happens to be Buddy Epson. It's where he owned it and he got it certified, or after he died, it got certified and has his name on it. You got like the Omaha Bank Hoard, Buddy Epson, and there's so many others I can't even begin to name them. The big something collection. There's a lot of them out there. Pedigrees are cool to collect. It's something different. You usually pay a slight premium, but every once in a while you can find a coin dealer that has a pedigree on a coin and they're not selling it for anymore. If they're selling it for average price, grab it just to get it. I collect pedigree coins. I sell them after I get more than one from a particular pedigree. So yeah, I like those. Something different. Buddy Epson was a huge coin collector. And there's somebody else that's a huge coin collector, believe it or not, who's still alive. He's an actor, Jack Black. Yeah, he's a coin collector. Of course, he'd probably never buy coins off of me. I'm just a little guy. But there are a lot of coin collectors out there. And it's cool when you can get the coins from these guys with their what the pedigree is it was owned by or in that particular collection, and then NGC or PCDS will put their name. There's the Tech family collection comes to the top of my head too. I wiped out, folks. Thumbs up. See you next time. Thank you, Eric A, for coming in. I appreciate it, my friend. You are awesome. So let's see if I can't catch up or try to catch up. Do you go on eBay to comp foreign silver coins you are unfamiliar with? I look all over the place to find, well, no, I scratched that. My wife looks all over the place to find something that we don't know about. If she uses eBay, you may want to ask her. She uses everything she can to get information on particular coins. Man, I got some serious heartburn coming on. No, excuse me. We are scrolling. We are going way now. I'm not too far behind, but let's see. Here we go. Dad's Junk, thank you for the comment. Hey, finally caught you live. Had a question I've been wanting to ask. Is the $500 range or less range are good coins with potential to rise in price? I have a lighter budget. Dad's Junk, that is a beautiful question. I mean, it is right on the nose. I have been an avid collector of what I call coins in a sweet spot. Now, there are coins less than $500 that have the potential to go up. You got to look for them. The sweet spot is $300 to $500 for a coin. And why I say that is a sweet spot, it's coins that a coin dealer can make enough money on when he sells them. You know, you can make $10, $20, $30 on something like that. But it's also the coins in that price range, if you get the right ones, that can go up. And usually if they're at least $300 to $500 or in that range, that sweet spot, so to speak, they very rarely go down. Because they're not so overpriced that the market says, well, this coin isn't worth that. Let's start bringing the price down. They're low enough that most people can afford them, but yet high enough to where a coin dealer can make a decent profit. So those coins tend to sell back and forth, and they tend to move up past that 500 if it's a good enough coin. But again, appeal is very important. Whose holder is it in? Remember, don't buy coins by just a holder. Buy the coin, but the holder will make a difference on resellability if it's in a no-name holder or an ICG holder. That makes a huge difference. All right, give me just 1 second here. Oh, that's nasty. You notice I said I'm starting to get heartburn here because I have this great Mrs. Coin Crew for a wife, and she just always hooks me up. She gives me that antacid stuff. It helps out a lot. Man, it's getting hot in here. Turn that fan on. I got this little, it's an extra bedroom, so to speak. We call it an office now in our house here. And so on Tuesdays, this is where I'm at doing the chat. And everything's real close. It's like a 10 by 12. It's probably the smallest bedroom in our whole house. Way small. All right, I'm still looking. I didn't see anybody put ones in there. If they yawned a while ago, maybe you did this time. I'm telling you, after this show, I'm going to block that word. So you guys might want to take advantage of it all you can right now. I wonder if Jack Black will sell me a Morgan. I don't know what price range coins he collects, if he stacks, if he collects. That I don't know. I just remember reading about it in several different articles. There are a lot more celebrity coin dealers. A lot of times they tend to like stuff that is over that $1,000 or $2,000 mark. They don't like to collect the stuff that's, $10, $20, $50 like us. I love to collect 10, 20. But again, my sweet spot is that $300 to $500 price range. Best potential to go up, more safety against the down trending market when it happens. Let's catch up. Yeah, I got to take a swim of that chalky stuff every once in a while. I'm getting older. It happens. Okay, we're going to skip down. Stephen LaPointe says, Keith, now is not the time to sell. Most LCSs offering just spot. Happy 58th birthday on Friday, Coin Crew. Actually, right now, depending on the coin shop, if the coin shop is overbuying, if they're buying too much stuff, they're paying back of spot. It depends on how many people are buying and selling to them. That, again, is market conditions. If they are buying too much, naturally, they're going to have to buy it back a spot if they're not selling enough to make up the spread. Because remember, if you're selling X amount of dollars, you cannot buy more than X amount of dollars. If you do buy more than you're selling, you're going broke. Even if you're sitting here collecting more silver and gold, it can make you go broke, make you be cash poor, miss the next deal. So a lot of times what a dealer will have to do if they're buying too much, they'll have to buy it a little bit lower and find another dealer they can dump it to. So that is something to always do when you are trying to sell. Shop it. If you like the person and you know, oh, they're going to make like $5 or $10 an ounce of gold, if you like them, go ahead and let them make it. But that's up to you. But remember, always shop it. See what the best deal works, whether it's the highest dollar or if it's you selling to somebody you like. Make sure the deal works for you and you did shop around. Because this market, with these falling prices, a couple of weeks ago, I was saying 38's around the low for silver. We're looking 33, 34. Well, we're still in that 33 to 34 range, lower to the 33 side on gold. And silver, right now, at this very moment, silver is sitting at 37.43. It's up a penny on the evening. Gold is sitting at 33.15. And those are ask prices on Kitco. And even platinum's holding up pretty good. It's 13.21, still down from the 1,400, but up from the $1,000 at the start of the year. Palladium's just not moving that much one direction or another. Right now, palladium is sitting at $1,131, and it's been kind of stagnant in that range, in that 1,000 to 1,200 for a long time. It was 3,000 at one point. Okay, let's do the chat. Okay, Jack Black isn't in the sweet. No, he's not in the sweet spot. No, I don't think so. If you do buy coins from a celebrity, if you know a celebrity, if you think you might want to have them see if they can get a pedigree firsthand. Because if it's the more popular celebrity, the more the coin will, the more the coin's value will increase. It's like someone used to tell me, "Oh, Jay-Z can buy a Rolls Royce for $150,000, drive it for a year, and sell it for $200,000." That's the kind of things people want a piece of somebody that's famous or popular. They want a piece of something they own, so they'll overpay for it. So who knows? Jack Black, he's a good actor. He starred School of Rock or whatever. That was pretty good movie. I've seen him in quite a few different movies. I think he was in Jumanji and stuff. But yeah, people tend to overpay for things like that. It's not that it's not worth it. It's just they're adding a price in for the celebrity owning the coin. Yo, fam, we'll be watching the Rick Springfield coin auction coming up. No, I will not. Man, Rick Springfield, wasn't he? Did he sing "Oh Sherry" or something back in the 80s? I think it was. Oh Sherry, I'm in love. I got a terrible voice tonight. Usually it's only half bad. Now it's extra bad. So I better not do that again. Sometimes when you're singing, you can feel it. Buddy Hepson of the Beverly Hillbillies was a huge coin collector. Yeah, I had mentioned that earlier. I had at one point in my life had a couple of Buddy Hepson pedigrees before I was actually collecting pedigrees. I wish I would have kept them. I would love to have another one. When I was growing up, that was a show that I just loved watching. Black Gold. Yeah. That was, for some reason, I'm just not getting the beat of it. Texas Tea. I just can't get the beat of the intro song. It's a pretty good song, though. Shep, so any thoughts on the 2025 Sunflower American Liberty Silver Medal? All the hype right now seems to be on the laser privy. Yeah, there's a lot of hype on the laser privy. Silver medals, they may or may not hold their value. I think more likely they will, but there's always that risk that they won't because they do come out at a high price. I wish right now I could afford the gold sunflower. I normally like to get the high relief gold coins. I'm hoping it doesn't sell out over the next week because I bought so much gold last week. I just can't. It's just not in my budget. It's a beautiful coin. If you can afford the gold, I recommend to buy it because I've noticed all high reliefs tend to hold their value and appreciate a little bit on the 1 ounce gold. They're a totally different market than proof eagles, gold eagles and such. Totally different. J-Dog says, if I decide to sell some of my collection to one of the coin shops in the city next to me, should I call them first and ask if they are currently buying, or should I just take the collection to them? What I would do, J-Dog, I'm sorry. J-Dog, what I would do is I recommend, if they know you and they deal with you a lot, go ahead and give them a call. If they don't deal with you a lot, you can call them, but it's a lot different in person than it is when you call them because they may be on the phone and they may be like, well, I bought too much today. And then you call them and ask, oh, I'm not buying right now. So when you go in person, there's a big difference to the, I guess you could say, the perception of the dealer because they put a face with the person that's selling it and it becomes more personal. Now you can check online at some of the big dealers and see what they're selling, what they're paying, but they're going to give you a generic price for a Morgan, a generic price for a silver round. It's always a lot of times best to show your coin if it's a collectible coin to somebody and work it. A lot of times you can, some of the people on YouTube, such as myself and Mike and everybody else, we buy. I do live streams with people. Well, not live, behind the scenes streams that make you feel like it's in person. So you can show me the coins and stuff like that. Because seeing a coin makes a big difference on what someone's willing to pay as to just hearing on the phone. I hope that was helpful. I don't know if it was, but I hope it was. Paul Bald is here. Hello, Paul Bald. Mustang Dave. How are you? So yeah, here's another one from Littlefoot. Thank you, my friend. Keith, I recently bought a 1915 gold 1 ducat for $384 shipped. Would you say that's a fair deal? I don't know a lot about ducats. Thanks. Also, any info you have on ducats, I'm all ears. I believe the 1 ducat, if I'm not mistaken, I could be a little off on this, 0.1855 AGW, and it could be 0.1867 depending on the year. But the ducats, 384, that sounds like a great deal, considering a 10th ounce gold eagle is going to cost you near that. Because there's more on a 1 ducat gold in a ducat than there is in an eagle. I could be mistaken. Ducats are undervalued, low premiums, so it's good if you're just wanting to stack gold to buy something like that. However, make sure who you're buying it from knows what they're doing, selling you real stuff. They're a reputable dealer. Don't just buy a ducat from someone at a flea market or from someone personally because there's no guarantee. Unless you've got your testers with you and your scale and all that stuff, and you know what they should look like, that's another story. But still, it's a risk. When you buy it from someone reputable, they are backing their reputation on every coin they sell you. Yeah, you may have to pay a little extra for that reputation, but if it's bad, you can call them up and they're going to make it right. That's the thing about buying from a respectable coin dealer, whether it be at a shop or at a coin show. Not all dealers are respectable, though. Having said that, the good ones, they will make it right. Next up, we've got... Littlefoot. It's a restrike. Doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter. It will matter like if it's a higher quality, not a restrike, an uncirculated, not a restrike. But if you're just for bullion, no, it doesn't matter if it's a restrike or not. Gold is gold to a certain extent, meaning some gold is numismatic collectible type gold. And then that would be your older, high, uncirculated, graded ducats. Doug Shipley says, could you give more info on the high relief gold sunflower and where to buy it, please? Doug Shipley, the high relief gold sunflower goes on sale 12 p.m. Eastern, Thursday, August the 21st, usmint.gov, the US Mint website. You will, a lot of times, the way they got their thing structured is, right, you'll get in there and you'll have to wait in line, so to speak, kind of like you're waiting in a movie theater. And it just depends on how busy the mint is. You want to get there before noon. Usually I recommend 5 to 10 minute window. Now, the mint, I believe, has a 10-minute window where they'll kick you off the site if you haven't made a purchase. So I would recommend about 10 minutes or 9 minutes. That way, whenever it goes up for sale, you're not getting kicked off. That means if you're just sitting there and not doing nothing, they're to keep the system operable, because a lot of people just go in and they'll just watch, and every once in a while they'll look and see how many sold. That's why they have that 10-minute window for purchases. So definitely don't get there too early, but get there early enough that you're not at the end of the line. I don't think they'll sell out. The high reliefs usually do not sell out. However, stranger things have happened. So US Mint website. Someone want to put a link up. One of the mods want to put a link up to the US Mint website for that coin. That way Doug Shipley can screenshot it and he'll know exactly where to go. I'm guessing they're going to be somewhere in gold's $3,300, $4,500 to $4,800 for that coin. They are expensive. Like I said, I wish I had enough money, but I don't. I had prior engagements. Walk up came in, so a whole bunch of maple leaves. Had to buy them. Okay, we go down, scrolling. Wow, I'm down to the bottom. So anyway, talking about silver, talking about gold, the prices are falling. Are we going to be close to the bottom, or is that where we're at? Is the thank you, Visterian. There, Visterian put the link up to the US Mint, and Doug, and that should help you out, my friend. And that's where you can go. You can buy anything from the US Mint on their site. You just got to navigate around. You make sure when you get to the US Mint, if you want to buy it, sign up, put your credit card on file, because it's a secure site. So someone's not going to steal your credit card. Make sure your credit card, whenever you see something you want to buy from the United States Mint, make sure your credit card is up to date. Make sure it has enough money available on it. Make sure that your shipping address is also correct, because people have went in for that hard to get item and their credit card wasn't right, and they'd go to check out. Nope, no good. And then they'd go and put a new credit card in there or whatever, and then go to check out. Oops, it's sold out. Because they didn't have an up-to-date credit card on file, they lost the opportunity at, say, the 2019 1-ounce gold eagle, 75th privy. I think that's what the year it was. It's like $12,000 or $13,000 now. And they missed out on it for under $2,000. I know someone that did that. It wasn't me. I would have cried if it was. I did get kicked out on the flowing hair, but my wife got one, so that was kind of cool there. I like Buy It Now this Sunday. Yeah, but we do Buy It Nows on our stream on along with our auction on Sunday. So if you guys do like to buy from us and you trust us, come check it out. We have free giveaways and such. And you don't have to be a channel member if you want to buy it now. But we'll get into that when you stop by Sunday and explain the rules to you. That's one of the first things I do before we start the auction. Did you see that they found 35 more 1889 Carson City in Nevada, and one of them got an MS-64 dimple? Wow. I think the Carson Cities are going to keep on popping up the 89 cc's. You won't find a GSA, because the Government Services Administration, or General Services Administration, back in the early 1970s, they only put one 89 cc in a holder. It's like the Highlander. There could be only one. So, yeah, I think a lot of bank hoards are going to pop up as coins get more expensive or more rare. That is what happened with the 1903 Morgan silver dollar. It looks like it might be starting to happen with the 89 cc. I don't know if that's the first instance where they found some, but I do know that there are several instances where coins pop up and they devalue the rest of the coins that are out in the marketplace. So if you have a 10 or 20 rare coins, don't send them all in at once. Send them in one at a time. Let the market absorb that additional adding of it. 3589, 89 cc's in MS64 dimple. There's only I don't know, 100,000 or something like that. I don't know. I don't remember the mintage on it exactly. There's not a lot of them, so that shouldn't do too much harm. But if someone found 2,000 of them or 3,000 of them, yeah, that would drive the price down. Okay, $97 plus $5.95 shipping. Ouch. Yeah, that's probably for the sunflower metal. That does seem kind of expensive, but they may hold their price because of the high reliefness they are. But then again, you never know. Have you heard of Circle City Mint bars? They're vintage bars. That, Edward Lee, you would want to ask Mrs. Coin Crew because she knows more about that than I do when it comes to collecting vintage art bars. So, yeah. See what else we got. We got Mudswat says, my cousin had an idea. He mentioned putting the people who call in on the show, kind of like a radio talk show. I had a pitch for that for my cousin. Yeah, when people call in on Sundays, we'll do that. I don't have no way of them calling in here because I'm not at the shop. But yeah, if people want to be on the show, we'll put them on the show and kind of interrupt the auction. We don't mind. Floyd does it every Sunday sometimes. He's done it here. He'll call my cell phone and we'll put him on if he wants to be on. Mo Silva, tell us about falling prices. I think it's staying at a very good range. Mo Silver, the falling prices. That's right. That is the main topic. We usually pick one topic of the evening to talk about, and then we answer the questions in the chat to keep the chat going. The falling silver prices. Sentiment has changed a lot when stacking silver right now. So since the demand has waned quite a bit, people are starting to sell their silver, which is, it's not necessarily just the physical that they're selling. They're starting to sell their paper silver. They're starting to take profits, and that is affecting the silver. That is affecting the gold as well because they're doing the same thing. And in the shop, I'm buying about 5-to-1 on silver and gold, 5 times as much silver, 5 times as much gold as I've been selling. So what happens when that happens, the market's got to reset a little bit when people take profits. I think we are getting close to the bottom if we're not already there. This is a comfortable place. It's not too expensive for people to buy at these levels, but just be cautious. Don't overindulge. It's like a good beer or wine. If you overindulge too much, you get stupid drunk. Well, if you overindulge too much in silver and gold, you're going to get stupid broke because you're going to have to sell it because you overindulge. And the odds are, if your luck is like mine, it's going down. It's just like I bought a bunch of gold last week. Gold's down this week. It's just the way karma comes around to us. Hi, B and Becky. How are you? I've been lurking and listening. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Okay. I miss buying $18 Eagles. Mustang Dave, I miss buying $4 Silver Eagles. What are you talking about? I've been in it a while. Since I was a kid. I mean, I was like way short. Couldn't have been no more, not even probably 4 foot high. If I was lucky, I was 8 when I got into it. Became a dealer at 15. Steve LaPointe says, I was on your show before. Yeah, one time we should do that. What do you guys think? About maybe doing a Tuesday night, have a group up to where people can come up and ask questions and then get their question answered and then go back down and let the next guy, instead of having a bunch of people waiting in line, come up for about 5 minutes max, talk and ask some questions. So yeah, if you, when the show's over, this show tonight, if that's over, say, yeah, you'd like group questioning or what, I don't know. What's a way to say that? How would you say that? Where people can come up and ask questions live on the air. You don't have to show yourself, but that'd be definitely a way to go with this talk show because it's Ask the Coin Dealer. So you can come up, ask a coin dealer, just show your little avatar or not, and you can ask it live. So that'd be kind of cool. Maybe we can do that some night. Live. Ask a coin dealer. Ask him live, too. Sold my paper silver. Coin Crew, are you buying more silver than selling? Yes, I am buying more silver. I am buying more gold right now. I do not buy paper myself, though, because paper is like, 300 plus times the actual physical metal. And again, that's going to fall back to emotions. People get scared that it's going to keep falling, and they sell, and it could create this domino effect, and it can start free falling, and it can be very dangerous and very financially disturbing if markets are in a free fall. And that's why in the stock market, it goes down. I don't remember the exact stoppers, but if it goes down so much in a 15-minute period, they'll stop selling for 15 minutes. And then the next time, I think it's 30 or 35. And then the third time, they just suspend trading for that particular stock for the day if it falls too fast. Because people get scared when they see that. I was surprised they didn't put a stop sell on ups the other week when it was dropping. But obviously, 10% is not enough to put a stop on it because it just kept on trading. So, yeah, there's that. It is dangerous. Weigh in on Michael Oliver's solid call of 60-70 silver before close of year. Sir Alfred, calling that kind of price is like saying, I'm going to go to the moon next year. And I'm not even a trained astronaut. I think calling a number that far off, it's not best to give an exact number. So he's kind of putting it in a range. But I can't see it. The fundamentals aren't there. If it does go up that high, it's going to be an emotional drive, which means it's going to drop right back down real quick. I don't see it. We got 4 months and a couple weeks left. You got September, October, November, December. 4 months and a couple weeks. I don't see silver almost doubling. That's even gold when it had its meteoric rise at the beginning of last year. It didn't go up. It went up 50%. And that was huge. So 50%, and that took a whole year to do it. So Michael Oliver may be a little bit out there. I don't know the man, but someone to say $60, $70 silver in 4.5 months, I don't know what they're doing, but I don't want no part of it because I don't think that's a good call. Getting people, that's like I swipe right on my phone to get, or no, I don't swipe. I hit the Google thing now because they moved it. Used to swipe right. That comes up some other news. But I hit the Google News button, and I see coins. Oh, your coin could be worth $50 million, $1 billion coin. There is no coin out there $1 billion in anybody's fantasy world. So for someone to call 60, 70 without any substantial basis, if it does have substantial basis for him to be calling it and knowing it's going to happen, that'd be some form of insider trading. If he knows what's going to make it go there and then starts buying up, that would be insider trading because it's not available news to anybody that says it's going to go up $60 to $70 to $60 or $70. I just don't see it. I'm sorry. I don't have a crystal ball, and I'm sure he doesn't either. So, yeah. Yeah, guys, just farming for clicks. Yeah, that's probably what he's doing. And that's how they're doing on these videos. You know, I should make a video about that, about people saying you could find a crazy priced coin. What is the highest coin? 18 million. It's around 18.9 or something like that. And sold in 2021. Maybe I'll make a video about it. I believe I have a lot of this market. I believe a lot of this market is not from the mom and pop shops, but from the central banks and hedge funds getting some metals. See, Bob, yes, I believe that is the case. But in the physical world, they're going to react to that paper world. And they want to take profits. They get a little scared. They see it starting to free fall. And they're going to act just like the paper people are acting because, you know, it's like a domino. They start acting scared. Then people with the physical start acting scared. They start acting confident. The people with the physical will start acting confident and buying more. And confidence is where it's going up. But remember what Warren Buffett says. He says like this. He says, be fearful when other people are greedy and be greedy when others are fearful. There's more money to be made in markets if you pay attention to his words. Because when silver goes down, that's when I like to buy the most. I don't know where the bottom is, but I know eventually it's going to go the other way. But if it's on an upward trend, I tend to slow down my personal stacking as it goes up because it could fall back down. So I've made more money heeding Warren Buffett's words than I've lost by not listening to him. 5-minute warning. He said, came at him proper like, did I? I don't remember. I've already forgot. You need catchy titles to get the new folks to tune in. Yeah, I'm not. I do need some catchy titles. There's no doubt about that. I have trouble getting new viewers because I am not imaginative enough. I can't think of what is going to get someone to click. I don't want to have a clickbaity type thumbnail or title, but I want it to leave question. But I just don't have the imagination for it. I know what I want once I see it, but I don't know how to see it by making it myself. If I tell somebody what I like to see and then they make it for me, and I'll go back and critique it like 3, 4, 10 times. No, that's not quite what I want. I want to see this. No, but I like this, but I don't like that. I'll know what'll work once I see it. I just can't imagine how to make it or how to see it. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just a guy. But yeah, falling silver, don't be scared of it, guys. It's just another normal trading. It will go up, it will go down. Just don't sit there and as it's falling, just don't go all in. I don't want people to lose money if it continues to fall. Or I don't want people to never mortgage, never borrow money for any type of investment or purchase if you can help it. I mean, obviously, there's some purchases like a home or a car you kind of have to because it's a lot of money. But if you can get away with it, don't. Like someone said in the chat earlier, Visterion, I believe it was, said, was it Visterion? So he sold some silver to buy a car. I don't even remember who it was. I've already forgot. It's like breakfast. I forget it after it's over. Okay, here we go. Here's a question from Spiky Mikey. If you are stacking silver, what size is the best to stack? That is a very great question. I recommend 1 ounce, 5 ounce, 10 ounce. Anything bigger than 10 ounces is more for your personal satisfaction because the more expensive silver gets, the harder it's going to be to move. If you're worried, now I'm not saying it's going to get there. If you're worried about silver getting to 200 or 300, again, I'm not saying it's going to get there. Just stack 1 ounces. Make sure they're marked. 1 troy ounce, 999s, or 49s, fine. That makes a difference on being able to sell them for a higher dollar. Yes, Bearded Bob is still around. Remember Kramer's timeless market advice. You're not selling the streak. You're selling the sizzle. Again, I guess you could say it like that too. But I like the way Buffett says it. I tend to, when people are out of favor on something and I think it's a good opportunity, that's when I buy it, whether it be gold, silver, stocks, real estate, whatever. But when I think it's going too high and I think people are being greedy, I'm looking at what can I get for this? I should sell it because everybody wants to buy it. That's how people make their money. That's how all these billionaires get more billions is they sell and buy stocks along with their businesses. And they can make a lot of money in the stock market. Someone hasn't been able to visit us. Okay, then. Buffett is much wiser. Buffett is actually retiring in December this year at 95 years old. I wish him the best. But he is getting up there in age, and it's about time he finally took some time off of work. 95 years. Can you imagine running a multi-billion-dollar, $1 trillion company and being that old? That's a lot of work. Oh, pretty dude. Oh, okay. Talking about gypsy wolves. Oops, get out. So, guys, I want to thank everybody for being here. We've been up about an hour. If you want that to make me to maybe make that a once a month show on the Ask a Coin Dealer, to where you guys can come up, put a comment after this video is over saying we want to do live questioning. We want to ask questions live or something along those lines. And if I get some good feedback, a lot of comments, we'll make room and we'll make it a once a month show if enough people are interested. Again, you won't have to show your face doing that. So I want to thank everybody for bearing with me. I can't believe I made it a whole hour by myself. A lot of talking. My voice is getting sore, but you guys made it easy. Again, your questions were great. I appreciate it. As far as the silver falling, let's finish off with this topic and then I'll say goodbye. As the silver falls, buy it the same way you buy it all the time, just nice and steady. Don't overindulge, because you might not be able to sell it if it continues to go down and make any kind of money. We don't want you to get stuck having silver and having to sell it at a loss. So don't overindulge, don't borrow. Remember, same thing for gold. Be cautious. Steady always wins the race. Thanks for coming, everybody. Have a great evening. We'll see you Friday live, 10:30 a.m. Floyd live on Friday. Bye.